See, that moment, Reed, who is usually, reserved, he just goes right with Ben. You can tell they've been buddies for a long time.
Yes.
Now, Shay's favorite character is Mr. Fantastic. How do you think he was handled in this?
Okay. I don't know if he's my favorite character. I guess he is, but I probably said that before. I guess of all the
you said that in the very beginning.
Power wise, I would like to be Torture, of course. Flying and all that. But yeah, he is a great character. Here, I'm using the word silly again. They use him to stretch out to see what the enemy's doing. When he's under control. Later, he becomes, as you mentioned, this kind of water wheel thing. Aside from that, I had no complaint about it. Everyone was in character, which is always good. I thought he was done well. I still like the time machine. We've seen time tunnels. We've seen time cars, Back to the Future. We've seen a bunch of different. I still like the table that goes up and down, the platform. I just thought that was just a classically Marvel creative idea. I thought Rama Tut was good. I don't know why I like this episode. I shouldn't, because there's a lot of silliness. I mean, come on, he's at the Natural Museum of History, and he notices something. There's a cure for blindness on these hieroglyphics.
That shows how observant Reed Richards is.
Yes, and it's so silly. Now, I've actually been to the Natural Museum of History when I was a young child.
And I've actually seen a cure for blindness in an ancient Egypt exhibit.
Have you, really? Yes. But I don't know why, but I liked this episode. It had a good flow to it. There was no stagnant, you have to read this long stuff and it goes nowhere. But no, everything was going somewhere, which I appreciated. Yeah, and I thought Reed Richards was great.
Number one, I liked Kirby's artwork in general, but we had the time machine, Doom's time machine, but we also had Rama Tut's time machine shaped as a sphinx specifically to confuse future generations. We had Rama Tut's gun, which allows him to control you but not control your mind. You had some Kirby tech in here. First off, Ryan, what did you think of the art itself in general? And then what did you think of the Kirby tech?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the art is getting nicer. You can see a lot more stuff in the backgrounds, and that's always nice, because when we were first reading it, it was just like the plain boxes, and there was like, what would you say, like just like slight little pictures of things in the backgrounds. And so it was just like the buildings and the outlines and stuff like that. But now you're actually getting full images. Yeah, that's really cool.
I was wondering if it was Kirby while I was reading. I was like, wait a minute, did he get replaced or something? Because that's how good it was. And I'm not a Kirby fan. I'm not a Kirby art guy.
One thing has turned back to Ben Grimm. He's trying to get back to Rama Tut's palace. He swam off the slave ship and he jumps on this chariot. He's going through the town on this chariot. They're throwing spears at him and that kind of thing, and he's dodging and he's ducking. It's a really great panel.
The panel before that, you see the black silhouette of the ship he jumped off of. The blueness of the water. It's just a great little thing, just all in itself. You got the blue water, the black silhouette of the, you even call it a barge, I guess.
It is a barge,
and you see Ben Grimm in the foreground, escaping. It's just a lot of great art here.
Yeah. Right. So I definitely think the art is getting better. And then I thought the gun was interesting. I feel like it's also like a take on when I had first noticed that he was taking their powers. They reminded me of what was it? It was the Super Scroll. When he has the thing to stop all their powers, right?
Right.
I'm trying to remember.
Well, he had a hypnosis. Super Scroll would hypnotize them, period. It wasn't stopping the powers. It was knocking them out.
What was it that
stopped their powers? That was Dr. Doom in the micro world.
Okay, so then it might have been that then. So yeah, it reminded me of one of those, but...
That was issue 17 with Ant-Man.
There you go. So...
yeah, okay.
So yeah, I thought it was interesting. It was, it's a nice, I guess, use of it, but it's kind of unfortunate that he just puts it in a gun rather than something that can, like, not get stolen.
Now, does that say something about the age, Jack, that we have guns, that there's a lot of guns back then? Got out of World War II. Maybe we're dabbling with Korea.
We're still dabbling with Korea, and they're actually drafting right now at this point for Vietnam. When this is made.
Really?
Yeah, so...
Isn't this like 60 something?
You're right, and the gun also is... Westerns are big at this time.
Yeah.
Westerns and spy movies are big at this time, too. Plus, I think the gun adds to his arrogance. Because Rama Tut is
I would think a scepter. Something more...
Yeah, like something more of the time.
More
yeah, but I think he wants to show off.
More Egyptian.
True.
That he's like, this is...
Screw you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what you think about it. I'm happy.
So I guess we'll do the yay or nay on Rama Tut himself now. I get a big yay on Rama Tut. I've always liked this character. I like his origin. I like the fact that basically he has paradise and he goes, crap, I'm bored. And that's a total villain motivation because all he cares about is him. So yeah, I got a big yay on Rama Tut, but let's hear from Shades.
Yeah, I like Doctor Doom a lot. He's my favorite villain, and so this guy might actually be Doctor Doom, or he could be an alternate reality Doctor Doom, or like he thinks he is just or we suspect is just an ancestor. So I like that. I like, time travel is always a lot of fun. So I like that Rama Tut becomes Kang, but I give it a thumbs up. It's okay, but this incarnation I can live without, he doesn't stay this way for long, so he's okay. So I'd say yes, but ultimately I like the later version of Rama Tut.
Okay, let's tie this up with the boss. We got 2 yays on this guy, but what do you think of Rama Tut?
Okay, so before you had mentioned that, his whole motive is just, I'm bored in this future time. I was probably gonna give him a light nay, but I like that he does just figure, hey, you know what? I want some action. I'm just gonna go back in time and then goad these superheroes into coming to fight me. That does add on to it. If you're planning specifically for this squad, then you should at least know that something's gonna go down and you might lose this. Because they are known to be
resourceful.
Yeah, resourceful. There you go.
And I don't think he was planning
but
for
he's
them.
Rama Tut.
Well,
he's arrogant.
He's arrogant.
Yeah.
Well, he says that he was waiting for them. He knew.
No, you're right.
He knows who they were, and that he was waiting for them.
I guess
so that he was planning for them.
Yeah, so he was planning and waiting, and so you'd think he would have something in place for like fail safes, I guess. So his motive is literally just being a villain. That's it.
He wants to be a bad guy because he's bored.
A bad guy out of boredom.
Bored.
Those are the worst kind too, because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll give him a light yay as well. So I think this is the first time we've all agreed on one. The first or second time.
I think so. Yeah. Usually I'm a nay, and
yeah, exactly.
Jack loves everything on the page.
I guess we'll tie this up with a talk about the cover because the cover is very cool.
We have a thought balloon from the Invisible Girl, which is rare, not totally undone. But,
and Sue is in her full Egyptian garb as the bride of Rama Tut.
Yes. And then you got these poor souls back here. Now, the Torch looks like he has leprosy or something. They all look kind of sickly.
They all look
but
hugely
Torch
defeated.
Very bad there.
What do you think of this cover? The Fantastic Four look defeated because they're being zapped by Rama Tut's gun.
And it is
in
accurate.
Which he actually controls them. They doesn't control their mind, that's the big torture, is that your mind is locked in a body that won't do what you want it to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I definitely like the cover. I think it's cool, especially because on this cover they're going a lot more into detail with each person in the art. Like you can see the actual plates and depth on thing. You can see the little bits of fire, especially like on specific areas where it protrudes out of his suit and stuff like that. So
often the cover is like a portrait where it's just like it shows something and it makes you look and say, what's in that? But this is almost like a panel where it's like you actually get them interacting. You got her thinking something, him saying something.
Yes, it represents the entire story.
It's very into the story, but I actually prefer the covers where there's somebody standing off looking in the distance or somebody's fighting some monster. So I don't know, but this is good too.
It has its own charm to it.
It has its own charm, thank you.
All right, well that's it then, folks. Until next time, be fantastic.